Hey guys, there were still some weird issues going on with the video. Don't really know why. So I screen recorded the entire video in Sony Vegas. So if the video looks a little crusty, slightly out of sync, you know why. It's because I had to screen record the entire second half of the reaction. I don't know why this is happening, but hey, here we are. So there's my explanation. Onto the video. And
now then, Miss Silverspoon.
Diamond Tiara's there? Why is she
Wait
there
a
too?
moment. Is that Miss Diamond Tiara?
Yeah, I'm handcuffed to her.
What are you doing here? Only Miss Silverspoon was summoned.
I was handcuffed. Hoofcuffed.
You think I was gonna let Sylvie face the courtroom alone? You're out of your old geezer mind.
Arrest her!
Miss Diamond Tiara was quite insistent she accompany her friend, Your Honor. Her loyalty is fairly sound.
Yes, I can see that. And her brattiness just as much.
Your Honor? Why was I asked to come back here? I already testified yesterday.
We'd like to hear once again the actions you took on the night of Royal Order's death, Silverspoon.
What? We already told you everything that happened! Can't you just look over the court transcripts?
How do you know what a
Save
court
ponies
transcript
like us
is?
from repeating ourselves.
How old are these ponies? I guess old enough to know what a court transcript
rather be
is.
anywhere else but here. That must mean I'm on the right track. Diamond Tiara, it's the duty of a defense attorney to explore every possible avenue in a trial. Even if it means treading on old ground, we can't let that stop us. Not if doing so may allow us to see things a bit clearer.
This is what isn't this what they call like shadow of a doubt?
Concur.
Princess Luna?
Both of you will testify as to the actions you took that night. Then we shall see if we can uncover anything new.
In other words, she's trusting that something does come out of this, and that I'm not just firing into the dark.
Fine. We'll tell you everything again. Right, DT?
Uh-huh. Oh, right. The two of us waited at the castle ruins for the CMC to show up, but it was only Scootaloo and her cult friend. He attacked me!
Afterwards, he threw DT's crown into the gorge and ran off. We tried to follow, but DT stepped on my glasses, accidentally breaking them.
You know I can't see without my glasses.
That crown is one of my most prized possessions. I couldn't just leave it behind. So Sylvie and I went down the gorge to go look for it.
When we came back, though, that was when we saw the body. We were also afraid the police might find the blackmail letter, so we tried looking for it too.
But then that zebra came, so we hid.
That
She saw
zebra?
the body
Oh, wow!
After a bit,
That
we
zebra
all
came.
too.
We're saying that like it's a slur, Diamond Tiara. Jeez, what's your beef with zebras?
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor?
That appears to indeed be a repeat of what we heard from these fillies in yesterday's trial. I fail to see what use it may be.
There might be a hole in it, Your Honor. Especially since we now have heard other testimonies besides their own.
A fair point. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination.
So much stuff that happened in this trial. It's so hard for me to figure out like what hole Athena is looking for. Not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, but it's just like my brain is working overtime.
The two of us waited at the castle ruins for the CMC to show up, but it was only Scootaloo and her cult friend. He attacked me!
Dude, guys. Really tired. Had an exhausting day.
It is true that Turning Page attacked you, but, well, it wasn't like you were innocent bystanders or anything.
Right. You two were blackmailing the Cutie Mark Crusaders in order to get that roll of golden fabric.
Whoa.
Well,
That's a dig.
yeah,
That was a dig.
I mean, I should have been hit by a stupid wooden sword. Did you have any idea?
I don't condone it, but I don't condemn it.
I'm lucky my nose didn't break.
I I did
He
see
will
Mr.
look like your
Wright
mother.
take a hit, but something tells me he might be a bit more used to physical abuse than most.
Yeah.
And what happened
Especially with those
afterwards?
whips.
Afterwards, he threw DT's crown into the gorge and ran off. We tried to follow, but DT stepped on my glasses, accidentally breaking them.
That crown is one of my most prized possessions. I couldn't just leave it behind. So Sylvie and I went down the gorge to go look for it.
Hold it! You two went down into the gorge?
Well, yeah. That stupid colt threw away my crown. I couldn't just leave it behind.
I can understand you being able to go down there, Diamond Tiara. But what about you, Silver Spoon? How do you go down there?
I rode on her back.
Well, since my glasses were broken, I couldn't see. So I needed Diamond Tiara to guide me down the steps.
Could you add that to your testimony then?
Sure? My glasses were broken, so I couldn't
You know, I
see.
couldn't see without my
Diamond
glasses.
Tiara had to guide me down the steps.
Objection! You're saying that your glasses were broken? That doesn't seem quite right to me, Silver Spoon.
Huh? But they were broken. It's just like I told you yesterday during the trial.
As I recall, Defense, you were the ones to first postulate, based on the discovery of the glass shards, that glasses were indeed broken. We even verified that the shards belonged to Miss Silverspoon's glasses during the recess.
That is true, Prosecutor Luna. But there was a vital detail that I think you failed to mention as part of that report.
What would that be?
Those glass shards came from only one of Silverspoon's lenses. The other was completely intact.
Forgot they mentioned
Meaning
that.
that, with only half of her glasses broken, she could still see just fine through the other lens. If you deny that, Silver Spoon, then I'm sure you wouldn't mind if we verify with your doctor. He could easily confirm that he replaced a pair of glasses with one of the lenses broken.
No, that won't be necessary. It's true. Only one
Yeah, my
of
doctor's a
my
busy
lenses
man.
was broken, so I could still see. Well, sort of. Enough that DT didn't have to guide me blindly down the steps, at least.
But that means that you stuck with your friend the whole time?
Loyalty.
Yeah, of course. I was walking with only half
Got
a pair of
loyalty, got
glasses on,
royalty
after
in
all.
my DNA.
And it was still very dark and scary. But yeah, Athena's right. I did have one lens letting me somewhat see. But I don't see how this is important at all. Why is this detail important, Athena?
It's because not only was Silver Spoon able to see while going down into the gorge, but she was also able to see coming out of it, and presumably for the rest of the night. Her being able to see at all gives a bit more credibility to my claim that she helped Sweetie Belle.
You're right. Wow, Athena, look at
40
you.
chests.
You're really managing to put the pieces together.
Thanks,
Just like
the
those
Twilight.
glasses shards
We've still got a bit more ways to go
Putting them
before
together.
we can end this.
to fix
In
the
any
lens.
Case, I believe it is
Like we're an
best that we
optometrist.
return to the witness's testimony. Now
Ignore
that
me
the matter
sometimes.
about the glasses has been cleared up.
When we came back, though, that was when we saw the body. We were also afraid the police might find the blackmail letter, so we tried looking for it too. Hold it!
You two had gone down into the gorge looking for Diamond Tiara's crown. After you found it, you left. But during that time, did anything of note occur?
Of note? I mean, we did hear that clang sound while we were looking for it.
Clang sound.
But there wasn't just one clang heard that night, Diamond Tiara. There were, in fact, two.
Yes, we established that in the previous trial. There was the one that Sakura, Diamond Tiara, and Silver Spoon heard, and then there was the one that Silver Spoon alone heard. It was suggested that it might have come from inside the castle, perhaps from something falling.
Castle of the
Suggested,
Two Sisters.
Yes, but not supported. However, that's not my point. Thanks to a little help from Scootaloo, as well as what we just heard from Sweetie Belle, I think I have a pretty good explanation for why Silver Spoon heard two, but Diamond Tiara did not.
Then please explain, Miss Sykes.
Before we resumed today's trial, I asked Sakura and Scootaloo about these clangs. Zecora confirmed that she heard one before she left her hut. Scootaloo said that she also heard one when she was passing by Zecora's house. But that night, she heard a second clang, just before she crashed into Royal Order at the crossroads. Now, do you remember what we just heard from Sweetie Belle? What she did in order to scare off those Timberwolves?
Ding, ding,
She
ding.
banged the armor pieces together, making a clanging sound.
And that was, of course, after Zecora left her hut at 10:15. Sweetie hid the pieces together at around 10:25. That's why Zecora didn't hear a second clang. She wasn't nearby.
So this second clang was heard by Miss Scootaloo and Miss Silver Spoon, then?
That's right, Your Honor. But if you think about it, that shouldn't be possible.
Why is that?
Scootaloo said she heard that clang when she was at the crossroads, and that clang came from Sweetie Belle, who was at the Nightmare Moon statue. Looking at these two locations, we see they're a short distance of each other. It's not unreasonable that Scootaloo would have been able to hear it. Yet, Silver Spoon said she heard the second clang as well, all the way from the other side of the forest while she was in the gorge. Now, how can that be?
You're right.
Unless she's
That
referring to a
does
different
seem
clang that she heard.
implausible. But she still said she heard that clang, so then...
There's only one explanation, Your Honor. Silver Spoon was not at the bottom of the gorge like she and Diamond Tiara claimed.
Or there's that.
Instead, she was close enough to the statue to have heard that second clang. Your Honor, it is the defense's belief that instead of following Diamond Tiara down the gorge, Silver Spoon chased after Scootaloo and Turning Page. She made her way through the forest, all the way to the crossroads, hearing both clangs along the way. Once she got to the crossroads, she headed for the statue where she found Sweetie Belle injured and unconscious. As I said before, Silver Spoon has a bit of a background in medicine, since both her parents are doctors. She would have known how to make a tourniquet out of an assortment of items. Therefore, she would have known how to treat Sweetie Belle's injury. And that explains away the issue from earlier. How Sweetie Belle, despite not knowing how to treat her wound, managed to have it treated in the first place. Objection!
This is truly a fascinating theory, defense. But you have yet to answer one final question regarding it. Why would she have found Sweetie Belle at all?
Prosecutor Luna, what do you mean?
I can believe that Silver Spoon might have run all the way back to the crossroads. But why would she then head to the statue after getting there? Defense, give us some proof to show why she would have gone to the statue.
Gladly, Prosecutor Luna.
Ooh, she's prepared.
Take that!
This is... Ah! The photo that Private Eye took revealing Royal Order's blood at the crossroads?
The very same, Your Honor. And if you'll recall, that blood led to the Nightmare Moon statue. If that blood was visible on the night in question, then Silver Spoon should have easily seen it. And that would have meant she could have followed it to the statue where she'd find Sweetie Belle. And after she did, she treated the young filly's wound using what she had available.
Miss Silver Spoon?
Sylvie? What are you? Your Honor, I object!
Yes, witness? What exactly are you objecting
What
to?
grounds, lady? What grounds?
I'm objecting to what Athena said about going to the statue and helping Sweetie Belle.
You are?
Okay, I admit it. I didn't exactly go down the gorge with DT when she needed me to.
Didn't exactly.
Instead, I did chase after Scootaloo and Turning Page. But that's it. That's all I did. I never went near that statue, and I never helped Sweetie Belle.
But we saw artwork of there. That means that there's some
Then
cat.
how else could Sweetie Belle have gotten the help she needed for her injury? She couldn't do it on her own. And Silver Spoon, you were the only one in the forest that night, sans Zecora, with the expertise needed to help her. I don't know, Princess Twilight, but I still never did what Athena's saying I did. And it's not like she has any proof to back that up. Athena? You're thinking of something, aren't you?
I am. I have a pretty good idea of how to show definitively that Silver Spoon did help Sweetie Belle that night. But I don't think I want to do that just yet.
Just
What? But shouldn't we?
We should. But there's another angle in all of this that I feel needs to be established before I do that.
oi.
We know that Silver Spoon's not telling the truth, and it'd be very easy to show that. But we also know Sweetie Belle's been lying to us. I think there's a way to get the both of them to confess the truth. Kill two birds with one stone. And I
Don't let
think if we
Fluttershy
do
hear
that,
that.
we'll be one step closer to figuring out
I
everything.
know she does figure speech, but she
You
would
really
not
think
appreciate
so?
that.
Yeah.
Granted, like I
I'm
care
more
about what
certain of it
Fluttershy
than
thinks.
I've ever been, Twilight.
All right, Athena. I'll follow your lead.
Defense? This witness has objected to your claim. Do you have any proof to support it?
I do, Your Honor. But I don't want to present it at this moment.
You don't want to present it? Miss Sykes, I'm afraid I don't understand.
Your Honor, there's one more detail I would like to get an explanation for from Miss Silver Spoon.
One more detail?
Miss Sykes,
Yes, Prosecutor Luna?
You're
we
acting
have a
crazy.
saying here in Equestria. Be wary of those who lead you down the garden path, promising a way out through the twists and turns. So far, you have been objecting at various points during this trial, hinting, it would seem, at some larger explanation. But you have yet to provide one.
We're still building
There
up to
were
it.
clear avenues for you to exploit. You chose instead to take multiple twisting paths, stringing the court along. So I must ask, where are you taking us? Is it another garden path? And when will these many winding roads cease, allowing us clear passage?
Proverbs.
I understand if you feel as though I've been leading us nowhere, Prosecutor Luna. But this will be the last time I take us down those winding roads.
Take me
I
home.
promise.
Winding road.
What is this one other detail that you have
I know
in
that's not
mind,
the actual
Miss
lyric.
Sykes?
I did a cover of that song.
It's
I know the
something
lyrics.
that's been bothering me from the very beginning of this
go listen to my
entire
music.
case, Your Honor. Almost as much as Royal Order's death. The item that got Turning Page arrested.
You mean...
That's right. The anonymous tip.
This anonymous tip. You must mean the one Miss Sugarstamp wrote and delivered. The one implicating the deceased son?
I am, Prosecutor Luna. However, I think
Why is
you'll
Boss
find
Music
it's far
playing?
too soon for us to definitively say that Miss Sugarstamp is responsible for writing and sending it.
Why is that, Defense?
Because of this.
Another magazine?
That's right. But this isn't just an ordinary magazine. If you flip through it, you'll see that a few pages have been cut out. Before this trial began, I had a friend test those cutouts against the ones found on the anonymous tip, and she found that they were a perfect match.
A perfect match?
Where was this magazine discovered?
In the home of Diamond Tiara.
Uh-oh.
Did you say Diamond Tiara?
No, I said fermented soybeans. Yes, Diamond Tiara.
Order in the court!
I'll take a cheeseburger.
You mean to say that Diamond Tiara is the true sender of the tip? Witness! What do you have to say for yourself?
I am disappointed.
I don't know. I've never even seen that magazine in my life.
The court finds this as
It was
cap.
found in your house, according to the defense. Do you deny that?
No, but I don't know anything about it.
Objection! I know this looks bad for Diamond Tiara, but, Your Honor, it's actually impossible for her to be the one who sent the tip in the first place.
Impossible?
Another
But
winding
the
road.
magazine! If it was found in her house, and if it matches the tip, then she must have sent it.
Not quite. Take a look at this photo. It's a picture of where this magazine was found. In the trash can of Diamond Tiara's bedroom.
Defense? Do you mean to say that you were digging around in some filly's trash?
I wasn't. Somebody else was.
Not me, my boss. But that's besides the point. Your Honor, when you look at this photo, what do you see underneath the magazine?
Hmm? Oh, why, it's a Hudson Hooves Day envelope. How lovely.
How long did this guy stay here last time he was in Equestria?
Too damn long.
Exactly, Your Honor. That's why it's impossible for Diamond Tiara to have sent this.
The address.
I'm afraid you've lost me, Defense.
The placement of the envelope tells us it was thrown away before this magazine.
Right.
That envelope could only have been thrown away on Hearts and Hooves Day, February 14th. We know that the tip was delivered on the 13th, because that was the day that Turning Page was arrested. So it doesn't make sense for the magazine to be on top of the envelope. That means it's impossible that Diamond Tiara could have sent the tip. She'd have sent it too late.
Exactly! Finally, you said something smart.
Hey, would it kill you to be a little grateful?
Yes.
I see. But then, how do we explain the fact that the magazine was found in her bedroom?
Well, it couldn't have been stashed there by the pony who said she sent it, Sugar Stamp. She'd already been arrested by the time she arrived in Ponyville.
Logically, that means the sender must be some pony who was in Diamond Tiara's bedroom. Someone who'd be able to discard the magazine while
Please,
there.
nobody make a joke about
Miss
that sentiment.
Diamond Tiara?
What
These
is
are
it,
children.
Princess Luna?
Between today and yesterday, was there any pony present in your house who could have disposed of this magazine?
Silver Spoon.
Witness, it is in your best interest to be honest with the court.
Well, when Sylvie came to my house yesterday, she was carrying a magazine.
DT, wait!
Oh.
That means that
You
Miss
snitching.
Silverspoon could be the true sender.
Except for one thing, Your Honor.
It was placed outside the entrance to the Ponyville police station without any pony noticing. It was around 4:45 when a pair of officers brought it in. I doubt it could have been there for long. We were unsure if it could even be trusted until we started our inquiries.
Right. And Princess Luna said you had an appointment the day after. What time did you go? It was around 4:30. It went on for about half an hour.
The tip was delivered around 4:45 p.m. on the 13th, when Silver Spoon was busy getting her glasses replaced. So you see, she couldn't have sent it.
But she still had the magazine in question. It was still used to write the tip.
If she
Right.
wasn't the one to deliver it, then she might have been given it by the true author. Is that what you're thinking, Miss Sykes?
Diamond Tiara,
What now?
I know you're scared for Silver Spoon, but figuring out what we can about this magazine is crucial to helping her, even if you can't see it. Do you remember any details about Silver Spoon when she brought the magazine to your house? Anything at all?
DT, please.
Please, Diamond Tiara. I know I have no right to ask this of you, but there's a way to protect Silver Spoon, and it depends on what you're able to tell us.
Okay, fine.
I'm gonna rat out my friend.
No, Sylvie. Just trust me, okay? I'm doing this for your sake.
Diamond?
When Sylvie came into my bedroom with the magazine, I saw that she had a small patch on her coat that was stained red.
Oh.
Stained red? With blood, I would presume?
Yeah.
So, she had been bleeding very recently. But what could have caused the injury?
There's no way. Could it really be?
Timberwolves?
I think I know the answer, Your Honor.
You do?
Yes, and it has to do with something that happened yesterday, too. While we were out investigating in preparation for defending Sweetie Belle, We learned from Apple Bloom that there'd been a break-in at Carousel Boutique.
We'd heard of that break-in earlier, too.
You're not
A
implying.
break-in? Oh dear. Has the perpetrator been found?
Not until
While
now!
the police have cordoned off the area and are conducting their own investigation, regrettably, they have not yet found the culprit.
And neither did we when we searched the boutique after hearing of the incident. But we did find some clues as to their identity. Namely, a few drops of blood. Rarity's cat, Opalescence, had attacked them. No doubt that the blood belonged to the
Silver
culprit.
Spoon, oh my god.
And, coincidentally, we have on the stand some pony who, just yesterday, had also been bleeding.
Oh,
Also
no.
been bleeding?
No.
Miss Sykes, are you saying?
Yeah, I got
am, Your
goosebumps
Honor.
right now.
The defense believes that the pony who broke into Carousel Boutique was none other than... Silver Spoon! Objection!
Defense, that is absurd.
You're
Have you
absurd.
forgotten a key element to that whole affair?
A key element, Prosecutor Luna?
Carousel Boutique was completely locked up. All the windows, all the doors. There'd be no way for an Earth pony like Miss Silverspoon to get inside.
She's a level 20 locksmith
Not
in
unless
Skyrim.
had
She knows
an
what she's doing.
accomplice, such as a unicorn to teleport her. And who would do that for her?
That's what we thought too. But what if we've all been wrong about that?
Wrong?
We've all been assuming that the boutique was fully locked up. We know that it was after the crime, but we don't know for sure if it was locked up before. It is quite possible that the true perpetrator had already entered and only locked up the place when they were leaving.
That is still speculation, Golden Pixie.
Maybe not,
Wouldn't she
Prosecutor
need a
Luna.
key to lock it up
Has
if
any
she's
pony
leaving?
taken a look at the front door's lock?
The front door's lock? What about it?
It's not an ordinary kind of lock. It's specifically a thumb-turn cylinder lock. The way it works is that it can be locked from the inside while the door's open, and then the door can close behind someone as they leave. Let's say that I'm right then, that the culprit did lock the place only when they were leaving. They'd be able to thanks to this thumb-turn lock. In doing so, they'd create the illusion that Carousel Boutique had been broken into while it had actually been already locked up completely.
Preposterous! In order for that to work, Defense, some pony would have to leave one of the entrances to the boutique unlocked for the perpetrator to enter at all. But Miss Rarity already told the police that she'd locked up the place before she headed to yesterday's trial, so there was no pony else around to unlock it.
No pony else? I'm not sure about that, Prosecutor Luna. There was, in fact, one pony who could have done that deed. They'd be the one to have orchestrated this elaborate illusion for us all to see. And they'd have done it so that Miss Silverspoon could have entered the boutique unhindered.
Then, who is this mysterious pony, Miss Sykes?
It was the only other pony who'd been with Rarity that very same day. Sweetie Belle!
Sweetie?
Sweetie Belle!
Here's how I think the whole incident happened. Before Sweetie Belle left with Rarity for yesterday's trial, she left one of the boutique's entrances unlocked. She then would have told Silverspoon about the unlocked entrance, telling her to break in that way.
But when could she have told her that?
It would have been yesterday, just before the trial for Scootaloo and Turning Page began. They were both already at
So
the
they were
courtroom
both
after all.
conniving and scheming with
Sweetie
each
Belle
other.
had been brought by Rarity, and Silverspoon and Diamond Tiara had been summoned by you, Prosecutor Luna.
I think I get what you mean, Athena. And I'm even pretty sure I know how the opportunity to talk to Silverspoon could have arisen.
You do?
Yes. You see, Your Honor, that morning, right before the trial began, there was a pretty big argument between the three Cutie Mark Crusaders. Afterwards, Sweetie Belle ran off. She could have used that moment to search for Silverspoon and share her plan.
A plan which would involve breaking into Carousel Boutique.
But why would she need some pony to break in the first place?
The only reason I can think of is that Sweetie Belle needed something inside that she couldn't get while she was with Rarity. So, Silverspoon entered via the open entrance. She must have locked it behind her to avoid being caught. After some time, She must have found whatever she was looking for and began to leave. But that was when she was attacked by Rarity's cat, Opalescence. She drew blood, forcing Silver Spoon to get away by going through the front door. And as she was leaving, she engaged the thumb turn lock and closed the door behind her. That locked up the boutique completely and created the illusion that it had always been locked.
No! No, that's not true! I was never near Carousel Boutique! I never talked to Sweetie Belle!
Yet you were bleeding when you went into Diamond Tiara's house. All we need to do is find the area on you where you'd been bleeding and test the blood against the blood found in the boutique. But you and I both know that won't be necessary, Silver Spoon. There's no point in hiding it. Admit it. You were the one who broke into Carousel Boutique yesterday.
Okay, yeah, I admit it. It was me. Before I went to Diamond Tiara's house, I broke into Carousel Boutique. Silver Spoon!
But why? What were you looking for in the boutique?
It was the magazine, wasn't it? Diamond Tiara said you brought it to her house yesterday. You must have gone to the boutique in order to retrieve it. We might not know that for certain, but I think it'd be easy enough to check.
That's true. We could ask Rarity to see if the magazines belong to her. We could even search the boutique again to see if there's any evidence to show that a magazine had gone missing.
Yes, it would be simple. But to break into the boutique, all for a magazine?
It's not so innocuous, Your Honor. Have you forgotten why we started down this path in the first place? That magazine has some of its pages cut. Some magazine cuttings were found in the anonymous tip that implicated Turning Page. Those cuttings match the ones found in the magazine. And that means... Miss Sykes.
Yes, Prosecutor Luna? Whoa, she looks... tired.
You and me both.
This is the conclusion you'd come to before, isn't it?
It is.
Then, perhaps you had best tell the court.
Tell the court what exactly?
Yeah, I'm lost.
Thank you for trusting in me, Prosecutor Luna. I know it couldn't have been easy. Your Honor, now that we have confirmed all of this, we now know the true identity of the pony who sent that anonymous tip. It was whoever owned that magazine and could cut it up. That can only be Sweetie Belle herself.
What? Me?
But that's not all. Now that we know that, we can also figure out why she asked Silver Spoon to break into Carousel Boutique to retrieve that magazine. Sweetie Belle did not want it known that she wrote the anonymous tip. So, she needed to pin the blame on some pony else by implicating them through underhanded means. As the court will recall, when I first brought out this magazine and said it had been found in Diamond Tiara's home, it was believed she was the true sender of the tip.
Jeez, dude,
But
this
that
is
was all a ruse
insane.
orchestrated by Sweetie Belle. She had Silver Spoon steal the magazine from Carousel Boutique and plant it in Diamond Tiara's bedroom.
That still doesn't mean I wrote it! Or heck, that I even sent it! How'd I be able to do that, huh? I can't just walk up to the police station and leave it there! All the officers would see me! If I did send that tip, how could I have delivered it? That's a fair point. She wouldn't have had an opportunity to send it by traditional means. Exactly! Could Sugar Stamp have helped in any way?
No. After all, she'd have no way of making the tip. She wasn't the one who had the magazines. Sweetie Belle was. But if she couldn't have sent it traditionally, what if there was a way to send it in a non-traditional manner?
Non-traditional. No, you don't mean...
Huh? Hold on a second. Where are Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Spike?
Spike headed out just after you guys left for the detention center.
No way.
I asked him to go check in on Sweetie Belle for me. I suppose he must still be with her.
No. No way Spike's involved, dude.
It's the only way that it makes sense,
No.
Twilight.
Defense?
Y'all playing.
You found an answer?
We have, Your Honor.
You have?
Dude, no.
Your Honor, at the time that the tip was sent on the 13th, Rarity had sent my friend Spike to check up on Sweetie Belle, who had said she hadn't been feeling that well. Spike is a baby dragon, and he has a special ability. He can send letters via his magic fire breath.
Oh, so I see.
No.
Yep. You stayed here way too long for him to not even bat an eye at that.
Miss Sparkle,
God.
you're saying that when Spike went up to check on Sweetie Belle, she could have asked him to send that tip to the police station?
That's right. And she could have asked him to do it, and to keep it a secret. Spike would have trusted that she'd have good reason for asking it to be kept quiet. But now...
Whether or not he knew the thing he was sending was an anonymous tip,
I hope he
implicating
just
Turn
didn't
Page,
know.
Spike still sent it anyway. That's how it was delivered without any pony seeing who sent it.
But wait a minute! You also said that I got Silver Spoon to get that magazine back in order to free Diamond Tiara. But why would Silver Spoon do that to her best friend? Yeah, why?
I suspect it has to do with what happened in the woods the night of Royal Order's murder. If Silver Spoon really helped Sweetie Belle when she was hurt, that also means she was the one who went to Zikora's hut to steal a healing potion. I think, using that information against her, Sweetie Belle could have persuaded Silver Spoon into helping enact her plan.
That only holds up if Silver Spoon really did help me that night. And there's no proof she did.
You're right in saying there's no proof she did help you. But there's an easy way of determining that once and for all.
Oh.
There is?
Uh-oh.
In the previous trial,
He's getting nervous.
we learned that both Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon had blood on their hooves. We thought it belonged to Royal Order, but Silver Spoon confessed before we could verify that. Yet, today, Silver Spoon admitted that, instead of joining Diamond Tiara in the gorge, she chased after Scootaloo and Turning Page. Diamond Tiara still got her hooves bloody by touching the body, but somehow, so did Silver Spoon. So how did her hooves get bloody if she hadn't touched the body? And whose blood did it belong to?
Okay. Okay, I
That
see where
blood
this is
could
going.
only belong to Sweetie Belle. Silver Spoon's hooves got covered in it when she helped make the tourniquet. All we need to do is conduct one final blood test. And then we'd know for certain that Silver Spoon did help her that night, and that would confirm everything else. The sending of the anonymous tip, the break-in at Carousel Boutique, and the framing of Diamond Tiara. It was all planned and orchestrated by Sweetie Belle!
And she's got the anime crying going. That's when you know you broke her. Oh, jeez. She's broken up.
Sweetie Belle? All that the defense has claimed has been laid out in full. The only thing left is for you to confirm everything. I know you're scared. I know you want to run. But there can be no more running. Not from this. You must face the truth once and for all. Please. Think of your sister, who no doubt sits in the gallery worried out of her mind. Think of your friends. This whole affair must surely come to a shock to all of them. You will no doubt have to face their reactions once outside of this courtroom. The time for reparations will occur then. But for now, you must tell us.
What really happened that night? That goes for you too, Silver Spoon.
Me?
I know that night was traumatic for both of you, but we have a chance to confront it. Please, tell us what happened.
Okay, Athena. That night was the scariest night of my life. I really thought after that Timberwolf attacked me, I wouldn't make it out. That I'd die, alone, in that dumb forest.
You thought you'd die. Just how severe was your injury?
My leg had nearly been ripped off. I guess the Timberwolf had gone crazy after it ate Royal Order's body. Like it was drunk with blood or something. I could barely stay conscious long enough to get behind the statue. That was when I showed up. DT told me to chase after Scootaloo and Turning Page, but I never found them. What I did find, however, was blood on the crossroads. I thought one of them had gotten hurt, so I followed it to its source. It led me to the statue, but there wasn't any pony there. I was about to leave when I heard what sounded like moaning coming from behind the statue. I was already scared by everything that happened, but I couldn't help being curious and, well, I went to look behind the statue. What I found was Sweetie Belle. She was in a very bad state. I remember calling out to her, too shocked to do anything else. She didn't respond, just made another moan, one that sounded weaker than the last.
And that was when you decided to help her.
I couldn't just let her bleed out there. My parents work at a hospital. They understand the value of pony life. And even though they aren't
Sorry.
around a whole lot,
My mind
still
instantly went to
the
that.
importance of all lives, too.
Little, like,
Using,
cartoon
I
things
assume,
that
what medical knowledge
that came
you
out after
do
Gen
have,
4 Pony
you
Life. The
managed
value
to
of
scrape
Pony
together
Life.
the force debris back
I'm sorry,
from
this is a
Turning
serious
Page,
moment.
thus allowing you to stop the bleeding.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Sorry, James. Nothing
I
against you,
stayed
dude.
there.
Just
I
my
stayed
mind is
outside
dumb.
until she regained consciousness. When I awoke, I felt fuzzy and disoriented, so I didn't recognize who was next to me. But then I realized it was Silver Spoon. I was shocked. I tried asking her why she was there, but all she did was ask me questions about how I was feeling. Then she asked if I could walk. I looked at my leg and saw the tourniquet, and when I stood, I found I could move a little. The tourniquet wouldn't hold forever, though, and Sweetie Belle's wounds were bad. She needed to get to a hospital, but we were too deep in the Everfree Forest to get there in time. I asked if she had any idea as to what we should do, and she said she knew a place that had a healing potion we could use to fix her leg. You mean Zikora's hut? Uh-huh. We walked there together and knocked on her door, but there wasn't any pony home. So Silver Spoon went inside to grab the potion herself. I don't know what Zikora puts in that stuff, but it managed to seal the wound almost immediately, and I could walk without it hurting. It did itch for a while afterwards, though.
You two then made your way out of the Everfree Forest afterwards?
Yeah. I also saw Sweetie Belle home so that she didn't have to walk alone. We started talking.
About what?
My friendship with Diamond Tiara.
You about to be put on blast.
I'm kinda jealous of you three. Us three? You mean me, Apple Bloom, and Scootaloo? Why? Because you all seem so close. You get to have fun with each other all the time. Well, yeah. That's because we're friends. Don't you get to do that sort of thing with Diamond Tiara? Please don't ever tell Diamond Tiara what I'm about to tell you. Promise me.
I freaking hate her guts!
Alright. I don't really think DT and I are friends like you three are. We definitely don't get along like you girls do. Sometimes I think it's because we're really just filling in gaps that our parents left for us. Diamond Tiara's parents are... them. And mine aren't ever around. That's really sad, Silver Spoon. How'd you two even meet? At a party. Something that the Riches threw, and that my parents and I were invited to. Of course, when we went, my parents left me to go talk to other ponies. But that was when I met Diamond Tiara. Because we were the same age, we really hit it off. And for a while I thought that was alright, you know? I thought that was what I wanted out of a friendship. But now I see how you act around Scootaloo and Apple Bloom. How you're always smiling and laughing. And it makes me feel less happy with whatever I have with DT. Like I realize I've been missing something.
If that's the case, then why don't you just say you don't want to be friends with her anymore?
Because I'm scared that if I do, I won't have anyone else to talk to. Or that no one will want to talk to me.
Silver Spoon, I have to ask. Did you take part in that blackmailing? Did you steal our stuff and leave that letter for us to find?
I did.
You shouldn't have done that, Silver Spoon. No pony wants to be friends with a blackmailer.
I know that. I'm sorry.
Thank you for helping me out, though.
You're welcome, Sweetie Belle. Actually, I don't know if I have any right to ask this, but, do you think you'd ever want to hang out?
Bruh.
Guess not. Can't say I blame her, though.
The next day, I was still at home trying to recover from my injury when I heard from Rarity that Scootaloo had been arrested.
That's also when we learned from Rarity that you were feeling sick. I remember you weren't that cooperative when we went to talk to you.
I was still in recovery mode.
I'm sorry, Princess Twilight, but I was really worried. I mean, I knew that the murder had occurred at the statue, but I'd been there too. My blood was at the scene. I was afraid I'd be arrested. That's why I didn't want to help. But even so, I couldn't just sit by and let Scootaloo suffer. So after you and the others left, I decided to write that anonymous tip.
Saying that Turning Page had killed his father in the Everfree Forest?
Yep. But at first, I didn't really want to go through with it. It wasn't until Spike showed up to check on me that I decided to have it sent anyway. He asked me what it was, but I told him to trust me, that it wasn't anything bad. I also told him that if he did this, I'd send him up on a date with Rarity.
Bruh.
Sweetie Belle! That's incredibly manipulative of you.
Dude, that's not very cash money.
But I had to do it when I had the courage. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to. Not that it ended up working out anyway. Turning Page getting accused didn't get Scootaloo acquitted. If anything, it just made the whole situation worse for the two of them.
Yep.
I also knew that at some point, I'd be found out. And I couldn't bear to face Scootaloo if she learned what I did to Turning, knowing how she feels. So that's when I decided to try and plant the magazine in Diamond Tiara's home. That way, Scootaloo would think she sent it, not me.
Jeez.
I sense that was not the only reason, however.
No. I did it too because I wanted to get back at Diamond Tiara for what she did to us.
But even then, you couldn't actually plant the magazine yourself. Rarity forced you to come to the trial.
I was even more afraid then. I thought for sure I'd be arrested. So I needed a way to make sure I wasn't on any pony's radar.
And that must have led to you leaving one of the entrances to the boutique unlocked.
Right. The back door one. While Rarity was preparing to leave, I thought about how I could get this plan to work, and realized I'd have to rely on Silver Spoon. I had a feeling she and Diamond Tiara would show up during the trial once the blackmail was uncovered, so I was sure I'd be able to find her then.
That would have been right after the fight you had in the lobby before the trial.
It wasn't hard to find her. She was in the witness lobby waiting to be summoned. I figured that whatever happened during the trial, she and Diamond would get off thanks to their families. Which meant she'd be available to help me after the trial, which was what my plan needed to happen. I managed to get her away from Diamond Tiara to talk to her alone, and that was when I told her my plan,
But I didn't want to do it. She was asking me to break into some pony's house and steal something for Celestia's sake. Even if it was with her permission, it was out of the question.
I tried to convince
Good to
her
know
that
your
it wasn't worth
priorities
staying
and
attached to
morals are
Diamond's gift
somewhat
when she was
aligned.
about to sing.
Silver Spoon.
I even brought up what she said in the previous night, but Silver Spoon wouldn't budge, no matter what I said.
So that's when you had to play a different card.
Yeah. I demanded that Silver Spoon do what I asked, or I'd tell Diamond what she told me, and Cora about the potions she
Jeez.
stole.
You blackmailed her.
That potion! I only learned later that it was in high demand at the hospital. If my parents learned that I'd stolen and used it, they'd be furious. So, I had no choice. I said I'd do what she'd asked.
In the end, what I was afraid of did happen. I was found out and arrested. But my plan still worked. Silver Spoon wasn't detained for long and made her way to the boutique to steal the magazine.
It was just like you described, Athena. I entered through the unlocked entrance and found the magazine. But then I got attacked by opalescence, and she scratched me a little. I managed to get away through the front door, engaging the lock before it closed. Afterwards, I went to DT's house to place the magazine in the trash. That was just a few minutes before you all arrived.
But that's everything. Everything Silver Spoon did. Everything I did. Everything.
Jeez. This is rough.
There is some tragic irony in all of this, Sweetie Belle, which I do not think you have realized.
Tragic irony?
These actions you took, don't they seem quite familiar to you?
Blackmail, framing, subterfuge.
Subterfuge,
lying.
that's a good word.
They're nearly the same actions Diamond Tiara took against you, your friends, and Turning Page.
Yeah, Sweetie Belle, you ain't better than them.
In trying to stop what she was doing, you ended up doing what she did anyway.
The meek little prey became the vicious predator, biting back with vengeance.
Proverbs.
You're right. You're completely right. What have I done?
Witnesses, you may step down from the stand now.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Sykes,
Yes, Prosecutor Luna?
it appears we have come to an end of the winding trail you set us upon.
We still gotta figure out who
We
the
have
hell
managed
killed
to
Royal
uncover
Order,
a great
though.
deal of revelations, and with them some complicated feelings, I am sure.
Was she just told to
Much
step
has
down
been
a second
said
ago?
now about what happened following this murder. And we have managed, I believe, to piece together a fuller picture of the actions many took these past few days.
True.
But this discovery, this confession, these revelations,
Meaningless.
what were they all for?
What were they all for?
Yeah, I don't think we're any closer to
Indeed.
solving Royal Order's
In
murder.
perhaps an equally tragically ironic sense, we have learned much about everything around the murder,
But not
but
about
very little
the murder.
about the murder itself.
Right.
I must agree. For as cathartic as this confession was, has it led us to uncovering anything further about the true nature of Royal Order's murder?
I think we have at least uncovered one thing.
No?
You noticed it as well, Athena?
I did, Twilight.
Really?
Your
Enlighten
Honor,
me.
what we just heard from
Ooh,
Silver
this
Spoon
music.
and Sweetie Belle doesn't just reveal to us their part in all of this. It also reveals a huge contradiction.
And just what would
I know I
this
should be
huge
paying attention,
contradiction
but-
be?
Let me show you.
I'm vibing out right now.
Silver Spoon said that she had followed after Turning
Right.
Page in Scootaloo, right? She went down the crossroads before she ended up at the statue. Now, we know that she went there before Royal Order's body ended up near the castle ruins. That tells us that she must have been chasing them around the same time that Sugar Stamp was flying over.
You're saying
Precisely. Sugar Stamp told us that when she was flying over the path, she saw two ponies heading towards each other. One was Zecora, and the other was Turning Page. But she never mentioned seeing Silver Spoon or any pony else on the path. How could she have missed her? But neither Zecora nor Turning Page.
Aha! That is quite the contradiction, isn't it?
So Miss Sugarstamp's confession contradicts Silver Spoon's. How do you explain that, Miss Sykes? Was Silver Spoon lying?
I don't think so, no. Too many of her events match up with our evidence. That leaves us with Sugarstamp's confession. It's far more likely she's the one lying about who she saw.
We also know, from what Private Eye confessed to, that the murder weapon was fabricated too. Her entire confession and testimony must be false.
Furthermore, the fact that Private Eye went out of his way to fabricate such evidence tells us he did so in order to support her entire confession.
Her entire confession? You mean not just the murder, but also...
Right,
Be
Your
fair?
Honor. Her moving the body is also a fabrication.
Moving the body, yeah,
In
yeah.
other words, everything that Sugarstamp allegedly confessed to, murdering Royal Order at the clearing, moving his body, and framing Turning Page and Scootaloo, is nothing but a carefully crafted lie.
Oh, thank God she's not a killer.
So
I like
you return to
Sugarstamp.
that
She's
claim
cute.
yet again, Miss
Thank God she's not a
Sykes.
killer.
Yet I am not sure that
But
Sugarstamp and Private Eye
she's
were
in on the
cahoots
conspiracy.
over this. But even if I were convinced, surely even you can see how what you've proposed puts us all in a difficult situation.
difficult? How so, Prosecutor Luna?
Your Honor, if the defense is right, that the body at the clearing was neither moved nor killed by Sugarstamp, then what actually did happen? For regardless of what did happen, one thing remains certain. The body was still moved.
Yes, indeed. I would like to know what the defense thinks.
Okay, Athena. Everything's finally come to this point. I need to take a moment and think this through one step at a time. If I'm right about this, then we have no explanation for how the body was moved. But maybe I need to change my thinking here. Instead of focusing on how to explain the body being moved, maybe I should focus on why the body needed to be moved in the first place.
Oh.
Sugarstamp and Private Eye were working together to falsify the events that happened at the clearing, so whatever they produced cannot be trusted. Taking that into consideration, what do we have that we know can be trusted definitively? What can tell us what happened in that clearing? Of course! Sonata found blood at the clearing. Private was in court during the blood's discovery, so there's no way he could have faked a blood test for it. That means that this really is Royal Order's blood. But what does that tell us? All we could really say is that a big pool of his blood was there at the scene. Is there anything that could point to where it came from? That's right. The blood rings belong to Royal Order too. They didn't end up there when he died, so some pony else had to have splashed his blood. And when they did so, they must have splashed the blood in the direction of the clearing. Yet somehow, no one reported this blood being found on the ground. How could the blood have gotten only onto the trees, and formed in such a weird way? What if... That's it! If the blood was moved from one place to another using unicorn levitation, then
This
it would
whole
likely
sequence is
form
really
the
cool.
rings around the
I'm
trees.
just like, if
Then
my,
that
you don't hear me
suggests that the
talking,
blood found
it's
at
because
the
I'm
clearing
kind
came from
of
the
amazed
blood
by
at the
this. This is
statue.
really cool.
Which would mean there was never a murder at the clearing to begin with. Only at the statue. But that means...
Wait, this whole
No
thing.
clone? So that means this entire time we've been chasing after a
Javis,
ruse?
you put us on a freaking goose chase. Dude, what the fuck? I love and hate this.
Is somehow even more insane than the clone theory itself.
Right, what?
Ugh.
Dog,
I
what?
hate to backpedal on things like this. But it's the only thing that can explain everything we've uncovered. Even so, Our entire position was built on that theory. Now I know it's wrong. But who could have set this whole thing in motion? And why?
Athena? What's wrong? You look like you're about to throw up.
I'm about to throw up.
Twilight, I just figured something out.
Great! Does it help us?
No!
I think so, but it also doesn't?
Huh?
Miss Sykes,
Oh,
I
God.
believe we've waited long enough. Prosecutor Luna has asked for an explanation, and the court would very much appreciate hearing it.
Alright, I'll give it to you, but you're not gonna like it.
I don't know how to feel about this. I think I'm on the right track here, but...
Quick, just pass out.
Athena?
You'll get the sympathy vote.
Huh?
What you figured out, do you think it'll help us find the truth?
Yes, but I don't like it.
Yeah, but it's...
Then we have to tell the court. No matter what.
Alright, Twilight,
Even
but
if
if your
it might
stomach's
hurt
in
us
knots,
now.
don't come crying to me.
If it takes us even one step closer, we have to take that leap.
I know I've been asking this a lot, Twilight, but are you with me?
Always. And to the very end.
Watch, she's gonna be like, alright, forget this, I'm
I
out.
sense that whatever it is you are about to tell the court is causing you some amount of discomfort.
A lot of discomfort. Look, Widget
Nonetheless, you
even
cannot
looks
relent.
sick.
You've demonstrated a tremendous level of both faith and ingenuity while defending your clients. What you need now is resolve. The necessary resolve to stand tall and go forward with your beliefs. And prove to me that I was not mistaken in mine about trusting you. Is this something you can muster?
I'll try.
Yes, I think so. So, first, let me ask you something. You still believe that there were 2 royal orders that night, correct?
Yes. The 2 bloodstains found at the clearing and the statue prove that 2 royal orders were in the Everfree Forest.
They do, if we take those stains at face value.
What are you talking about?
Here's the thing, Prosecutor Luna. Ever since the previous trial, we all believed that clones were involved. Royal Order went to the mirror pool in order to clone himself.
Yes, that was your reasoning. Defense.
I realized
where
that
are you
was
going with
stupid,
this?
that
Now,
reasoning.
when we take into account at least one of those areas where the blood was found was part of the phony confession, our initial theory gets placed under a new light.
And that new light is under the headlights of a truck.
Athena, you don't mean...
Here goes. Prosecutor Luna, Your Honor, Twilight,
The court.
I believe
Friends,
that
Romans,
despite
countrymen.
everything we've heard, despite everything we've supposedly uncovered, the fact of the matter is that this clone never existed in the first place.
What?
What?
This is so wild.
Golden Pixie! Have you taken leave of your senses?
Absolutely.
The existence and subsequent involvement of a clone was your postulation to begin with.
And I'm taking that back.
Indeed, Miss Sykes. How is it that now of all times you decide to abandon that theory altogether?
Whoa! Athena, you can't seriously think... I mean, when I considered all of the possibilities, I couldn't have anticipated this!
Me neither. But please, just hear me out.
No,
I
too
know
many
it
winding
was what
paths.
We were arguing before, but I just now realized our line of thinking was completely wrong.
How could it be? You provided a perfectly sound explanation as to how clones, as absurd as the idea initially was, could be involved with the murder.
That's just it. I think the explanation was too perfect.
Explain, Defense.
Here's what I think. When Twilight and I proposed the clone theory, Private Eye had been listening and told Sugar Stamp about it after the trial. They must have used that idea to create this false narrative about a clone.
You mean they didn't plan this from the start?
I don't think so. No one thought of clones until we brought it up. And then, afterwards, everything began lining up with Sugar Stamp's confession.
But why would they do this? Why would they go so far just to create the illusion of there being clones involved?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Then I must reject this madness outright. You know such speculation is not permitted in this court. I thought I could rely on you to abide by that at least. You need proof, and I demand you show it to us immediately.
Proof that there were no clones. How can I show that?
This is what you meant before, when you said this could both help and not help us?
Yeah. I know it throws everything we've been arguing out the window, Twilight, but...
No, I see the logic in it. Admittedly, it's a bit simplistic in scope, but they do say that sometimes the simplest answer is the right one. In which case, I think this might actually be the truth.
You do? But then, how do we prove it?
Let me think. So, the clone story was fabricated entirely, correct?
Yes,
That's
that has
right.
been established now.
Well, if the clones themselves weren't real, then something else about them must not be real too. Like the circumstances around their creation, maybe.
The circumstances.
But we'd have to somehow show those circumstances aren't real either. But short of time traveling back to the moment the clones were supposedly created, which incidentally is now impossible to do.
Ah! I got it! I know how to show that.
You do?
Yep. Thanks, Twilight.
Huh?
Okay. You want proof, Prosecutor Luna? You got it. Take that!
A photo of the mirror pool's entrance?
Oh,
How is this proof?
the flowers.
Look closer. On the boulder itself, you can see a particular species of flower partly growing. These are day bloomers. True to their name, they only bloom during the day. But that's not all. If you look at the vines on the flowers themselves, you can see that they've been cut. If Royal Order had moved the boulder on the night of the murder in order to access the mirror pool, then the flowers shouldn't have blossomed in the following days. Yet, when my friends and I arrived at the scene, they were all blooming. This could only mean that some pony moved that rock in the middle of the day. Perhaps even recently. Possibly right after the previous trial and after we presented our clone theory.
That certainly makes an alarming amount of sense.
But
I hate to
who
say it,
could have
but
moved the boulder then?
There was only one pony who'd be able to do that. Private Eye.
Private Eye? How?
he's a unicorn.
When we were investigating the mirror pool yesterday, Private Eye let it slip that he was the first of his team to come across the boulder.
When I first found the cave, it was already open like this.
Because of that, he'd be able to make it look like the boulder had already been moved by Royal Order.
Objection! This doesn't prove there were no clones, though.
How come?
Because of how you and Miss Sykes determined definitely that there was a clone that night. The Royal Order whose body was found near the castle ruins died instantly from a wound to the head. But as we learned yesterday, Scootaloo crashed into another Royal Order while fleeing the forest. A Royal Order who happened, as she testified, to still be breathing. How else can you explain one body breathing and one body not breathing if not by admitting the existence of a clone? Furthermore, the body found in the ruins doesn't bear any signs of a scooter crashing into it. Just a large bruise on the side of the abdomen. Once again, how else can you explain this absence of obvious, distinct bruising if not by admitting the existence of a clone? It doesn't make any sense.
You're right. It doesn't make any sense.
What? You admit it?
What we'd established before proved clones were involved, and our strongest evidence was Scootaloo hearing breathing from the body she crashed into. But if clones were not involved, then what Scootaloo thought she heard must have been wrong.
You don't mean to say...
That the breathing Scootaloo thought she heard coming from Royal Order didn't come from him. Instead, it must have come from some pony else.
But Miss Scootaloo was so certain she heard it coming directly from Royal Order.
Then logically, it must have come from some pony who was right up against the body itself.
Objection! That claim is ridiculous! How on Equestria could Scootaloo have missed seeing some pony behind the body?
Well, it was quite dark.
Fair.
Even so, If the moon was bright enough that Scootaloo could see she crashed into Royal Order, then she would have seen some pony behind him. There is no feasible way for any pony to hide that way, and thus no way for her to have heard any pony but Royal Order breathing. Nothing short of a child could have even the slightest chance.
Child? No, that's ridiculous. There wasn't any pony like that who would have had a chance to...
What's up, Athena?
Oh no.
What's up, honey?
Athena? What is it this time?
She looks horrified.
Maybe I'm wrong. I've gotta be.
Oh god.
But-
I don't like this face.
All my instincts
This
are
is
telling
scaring me, actually.
Screaming at me.
Oh.
Miss Sykes?
I'm looking behind me just in case I don't see that
Do you
face
need
pop,
me to call
pop
a
behind me.
recess? You appear...
I think you need a priest.
I do? I mean, I'm not. I just...
Call a doctor. Someone call a doctor. A priest. Another lawyer.
But... Prosecutor Luna?
What is it, Miss Sykes?
Before I answer your rebuttal, I want to confirm 2 more things. By asking Silver Spoon and Sweetie Belle to retake the stand.
Miss Sykes, I'm not sure what you're planning now, but... Very well. The prosecution won't object to this.
What the hell? What is she thinking?
Your Honor?
Dude, I
yes,
got goosebumps.
Quite right. The court accepts this proposal.
Athena, what's going on, hun?
Athena?
Silver Spoon? When you were chasing after Scootaloo and Turning Page, you were headed towards the crossroads, right?
Yeah, that was before I found Sweetie Belle.
Previously, Zecora testified that she was headed towards the castle. She would have been on the same road as you were. Before you found Sweetie Belle, did you ever run into Zecora?
Run into? No, actually, I just saw her coming and hid.
You... hid?
Yeah, I just jumped away into the forest so that she wouldn't see me.
What?
But that must mean... you were the shadowy figure Zecora saw leap out of her way?
That can't be right. Turning Page said he was the one whom Zecora saw.
But Zecora never got a good look at that figure. All she could tell was that it was a child. And think about what we figured out just now, too. About Sugar Stamp's story.
She couldn't have missed seeing Silver Spoon if she saw both Zecora and Turning Page. But that was a lie, wasn't it? Just like the rest of her confession.
Right. But that leaves us with a missing bit of information. Sugar Stamp's story initially told us where Turning Page was after the blackmail deal went bad. But now that it's been shown to be a lie, and that neither Silver Spoon nor Zecora saw him, the question becomes... where did Turning Page actually go?
Indeed. His disappearance cannot be accounted for.
No way. No.
Huh? Miss Sykes?
Keep it together, Athena.
No, don't. No, this isn't going where I think it is.
Huh? What is it, Athena?
That tip you sent. We've established you sent it, and how, but there's still something left unanswered. Why Turning Page? You could have implicated Diamond Tiara or even Silver Spoon, since you knew they'd been blackmailing you and your friends. But why specifically him?
It's because of what I overheard. When I was hiding behind the statue before I passed out.
What did you hear?
What was it?
Exactly what I wrote on the anonymous tip, Princess Twilight.
What you wrote?
I thought if I wrote that, it would be enough to save Scootaloo. Even though it'd make her really, really sad.
Thank you. Both of you.
Oh my god, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
And there it is. The last detail I needed. The last detail I actually wanted.
So you've confirmed those two things you were looking for, Miss Sykes. But what now?
Can I do this? I don't know if I can. Or if I even want to. I don't think I've ever wanted to be proven more wrong in my entire life. And
I don't think I can handle this, man.
all the pieces of this ugly, frustrating, terrible puzzle have finally come together to form the complete, tragic picture. All I have to do is put it together. But if I do that, some pony's innocence would be destroyed.
Oh god.
And what's more important than protecting that?
There is one thing even more important than the trial's outcome. The truth.
Yeah, but oh my god.
You're right, boss. I have
God.
to do this.
Oh god.
Prosecutor Luna?
Oh my god, here we go.
Your Honor? Twilight?
Here we go, here we go.
What is it, Miss Sykes?
Thanks to what we've just heard, I figured it out. The answer
I
to
got
the
chills.
question that's been at the center of everything.
You mean the question of who killed Royal Order?
Who? There's only one pony who could have, and that's the son of the victim himself. Turning page!
What?
Jesus Christ, dude. What the?
Athena Sykes? What in Equestria are you doing?
Oh, she used her full name. Oh god, she's
Page is
pissed.
innocent. You proved so in that previous trial.
You can't be serious. Why would you even
This goes back to.
think that?
Does this go to Double Jeopardy?
As much as I don't want to believe it, it's the only explanation left.
Because like, if he was already found
and
innocent,
the one that clears up these
then
last
like
and
he can't
final
be called back to the same trial. Like what?
These contradictions? You mean the breathing and lack of bruising?
Yes, Your Honor. That breathing could not have come from the victim himself, but instead, some ponies sitting right up against him. As Prosecutor Luna pointed out, they'd have to be small as a child.
No.
That night, there were 5 children in the forest. 4 of them, Diamond Tiara, Silver Spoon, Scootaloo, and Sweetie Belle, have all been accounted for. But, as we established, the 5th, Turning Page, somehow vanished. He could only have appeared to do so if he was hidden in plain sight. By hiding next to the body of Royal Order that lay in the middle of the crossroads.
Oh my god.
Therefore, the breathing that Scootaloo heard had to come from him.
That's right. That explains it.
Can you imagine that? Like,
Then
like
what of
hiding
the
it
lack of bruises
behind the
on
body
Royal
of his
Order?
father? Oh my god.
All this time, we thought that Scootaloo had crashed into him. But now that we know Turning Page was there too, we can perfectly understand why Royal Order suffered no bruises from the scooter. It's because Scootaloo instead crashed into Turning Page himself.
Objection! That is a completely impossible claim, defense. Turning Page showed no signs of injury during or after the event.
Objection! That's because we haven't searched him yet. Your Honor, the defense formally requests that Turning be searched for signs of bruising.
No! The prosecution refuses to allow this. I will not.
It's all right, Princess Luna. If Miss Sykes wants me to be searched, then I'll allow it.
What? Turning Page, no! Don't you see what this means for you?
That's enough, Prosecutor Luna! Bailiff, search the young colt immediately for any signs of bruising. Let us see the truth once and for all. Is that...
A bruise?
On the right
I got goosebumps,
side.
dude. They're all over my arms and legs. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Your Honor, this proves that Turning Page is the one responsible for the death of Objection!
It's Mom, isn't it? Yep.
Fair devotion?
That's enough, Miss Sykes. I won't have you disparage my son anymore. Especially not for a crime he didn't commit.
What do you mean? The bruise tells us...
It tells us, yes, he got them from when Scootaloo crashed into him. But that's all. It says nothing about his culpability, despite what you have been arguing.
She's not wrong.
But respectfully, Miss
But
Devotion,
still.
Turning Page, having submitted himself for examination, has indicated his guilt.
That is only because his father raised him to take responsibility, even for the things he has no control over. Your Honor, my son didn't kill my husband. I did.
What? You what?
Okay.
Order! Order in the court! Miss Devotion! You confess to murdering your husband?
That's impossible! You just testified earlier that you didn't even find Royal Order until it was too late!
And I still stand by the majority of my testimony. But I must make one additional statement.
One additional statement?
Sugar Stamp said that she saw Sweetie Belle attack Royal Order, but that was a lie. In actuality, the pony who attacked him, leading to him being impaled at the statue's base, was me.
No! That's not true! She's only doing this to protect her son!
I see. Well, as this runs counter to your argument, what do you think, Miss Sykes?
Your Honor, the defense opposes accepting this new confession.
What?
On what grounds?
On the grounds that it muddles everything.
On the grounds
Take
of
this
me
at
being
face
pissed
value.
off.
If we want to reach a satisfying conclusion to this whole case, we need to hear one final testimony from Miss Devotion.
Athena's right, Your Honor. There's no way to determine if we can trust this confession until we hear exactly what Fair Devotion did that night.
Prosecutor Luna, do you have any objections?
I think she's broken.
Please, Prosecutor Luna.
I think Luna's broken.
I...
Is there a reset
No.
button?
Your Honor, I do not. The prosecution would also like to hear this final testimony from this final witness for the final time.
Very well. The court accepts the proposal. Miss Devotion, you will testify as to what happened between you and Royal Order on the night of his murder. Is that understood?
Very well, Your Honor.
This is it. With this, we'll finally be able to put an end to this ordeal. The truth is out in the open now. And all that's left to shield it is one final testimony from Miss Devotion.
Oh my god, thank god it's over. I don't think my heart could have taken much more, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. How am I still alive? Check out my pulse. Yeah, my pulse is still there. At least most of the ads were at the beginning of the video. Alright. Oh my god. Too many twists and turns. Oh my god. If I can... I don't think I can really cohesively air my comments, compliments, concerns, questions, and all that stuff. Because I'm just like, ah! What did I just watch? Is there a post-credit scene? Okay, thank God. Oh, good Lord in heaven, dude. Okay, so overall thoughts with the episode. For one thing, wow. Second of all, like, writing overall was great. Everyone's voice acting was always on par. My only concern with the episode was that it sounded like some of the audio, for some of the actors, like, it didn't I feel like a good portion of the actors were like, let's say this was like the base level. I feel like a couple of the audio lines from like some of the other actors were like just short of like meeting where like everyone else was at. That's my only concern. That's really my only concern. Overall, holy crap! Still trying to comprehend this, guys. Wow. Looks like there's just going to be one more episode left, and then we're going to get a nice. I don't think my heart could take this. First there was the clones, and that put me through a loop, and now there isn't a clones, and that's putting me through a corkscrew. Just, wow. Then Fair Devotion saying that she killed hubby. Bruh. Guys, I think I'm just gonna have to call the video here. I need to process this. Like, guys, I don't even know how I can like properly transition to my outro. Guys, thank you for watching this reaction video of me watching Ponies and Attorneys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my music. Check out my vlogs, check out my other content, make sure you give the original video a like. I'll leave a link for this video in the description down below. This video exhausted me more than my job did today, let me tell you. Guys, take care of each other, love each other, and I'll see you next video. Oh my god. Love you. I'm broken.